Hey everyone, welcome back to the Bunk and Pick podcast. Bunk here with Pick, and we do have another guest in house today, Medium G with us over there.
Medium G.
Oh my God.
Menji's back.
All right, well, before we go, what accent do you have for us today there,
I'm
Bunk?
gonna go laddies. We got the two laddies here today.
It's the same
I'm
accent.
a bit of a
It's
leprechaun.
It's
I'm a
never,
every week.
it's never different.
I'm a bit of a leprechaun.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yowzers.
Okay.
What else you got? Give me an English accent.
Hello, governor.
All right, now Scottish.
Hey, Govey.
That's the same thing.
Boston accent.
Boston.
Hey, I'm Boston. I'm over
All right, that's a
Boston.
little
the
different.
Bulls.
All right, New York accent.
Hey, what the bing, bada bang.
I'm walking here.
I'm working here. I'm rolling balls over here.
All right, we're off the rails already, and we haven't even started this thing. But, Bunk, why don't you actually say hello?
Hello.
All right, there we go. All right, what do you want to talk about first? Hey, baseball. Good baseball.
Let's do baseball.
Baseball weekend for you.
I like good baseball. Hey, Yankees? We want to talk Yankees?
Well, it was a bad baseball weekend for me. So.
Yeah, well, you guys are always bad. Hey, is Judge on fire? Is my judgy on
Judge is a
fire?
bit-
My judgy?
Your judge.
Is my judgy on
You're a
fire?
little judge.
Your judge.
17 HRs
Okay.
up at the lead, and he is hitting the ball.
He is hitting the ball.
He had I think 5 games in a row he hit a home run. Brutal.
Are they finally saying it's his team again and not
It's
Juan
always been the
Soto's
captain's team.
Well,
It's always been
there
the
was a
captain's team.
good month there where they were saying it was Juan Soto and the Yankees.
Well, Soto's good, man.
He is
He
good.
is, he comes through.
I think he needs that C on his chest.
No, he doesn't need to see. He hasn't even signed.
Is it Judge is the captain?
Judge is captain.
Solo captain.
Solo, baby. Han Solo,
Solo Bolo.
as we say. No, he is. He's done really well. Juan Soto, though, with guys on base, is freaking unbelievable.
He's pretty darn good.
He is good. And they were playing San Diego with your favorite player on it.
Every time. It's always my favorite friggin'
Your
player.
favorite player?
His favorite player is Manny Machado.
I hate him.
Manny Machado.
I do not like Manny Machado. Every time. His favorite player.
His second favorite player,
Yeah.
Fernando Tatis.
And Bunk's favorite player over there, Tim Anderson.
He's.
You don't like Tim Anderson? What's wrong with him?
Are you kidding me?
I actually don't know. Off the field, is he?
He's
Are
the
you
loudest
kidding
human
me?
being in the world.
Oh, I don't know. As a baseball player, he's pretty good.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. He had a
sucks.
really bad season.
Let's attack him like two dogs.
He's on the Marlins now,
the
Gary. Come
Marlins.
on.
I saw the Marlins record.
They're bad.
I looked up before we came
Hey,
on. I was
he's-
like, "How's baseball looking?" They
He's
look
bad. And Tim Anderson's bad.
I think they had
was
over
good for a while.
100 run different.
Oh,
100.
They're horrible.
78. It's a
Oh,
70.
they're
They're minus
improved.
78. The Phillies are plus 93 run
Phillies
differential.
are killing
They're
it.
Killing the
With
ball.
my boy, Bryce Harper.
Your boy, yes. Of course it's yours.
I like Harpy.
Yeah, I like Harper too.
Okay.
Actually, I did not like Harper. We used to always have an argument who's the better player, Trout, Harper. And for the longest time, I'd say Trout. Within the past year and a half, I go Harper.
Gotta go Harper.
I have to.
Who
gotta
has
go
the better
Harper.
career overall, though?
Harper.
Harper.
Yeah. He's made more postseason
And he's making
appearances.
more of an impact every year.
He does.
And you know what? His cockiness never went over for me. It got right on the line
Yep.
always, and he never pushed it. And actually, he's retracted a lot, and he's become one of my favorite.
But you know
players.
why? You know why, though, the cocky thing to me? Because it's all about the team. It's
Yeah.
not about him.
Yeah.
So
I would agree.
he obviously is pretty cocky, but he's a team guy,
Mm-hmm.
and everything he does is for the team. I mean, and Trout is like that too, but he's not like a guy who hits a home run and then goes around third base and then stops and
Right.
folds his arms and then looks at the crowd like somebody.
Well, that's why I kind of hated
somebody
on
on
him.
Pick's team.
Pick's team.
What?
Machado?
Randy
He
Rosarena.
hates Randy Rosarena.
Have you seen him?
Yeah,
No.
he gets mad because every single player celebrates now while they run
Not
around.
like that.
Do, yeah.
Yeah,
like
he
that.
hit a home run on the Yankees, so he's pissed off about it. You know, a typical Yankee fan.
Gary, he
just
runs
angry about everything.
Here's his home run trot. He goes around, he crosses third base. Before he gets home, he stops, turns to the crowd
For two,
crosses
like
his
half
arm,
of a second.
gives him a look, and then go. That's
Yeah,
friggin-
It's like half a second.
That's how
over the top.
baseball is now.
That's
that's
all of
over-
them do
over the
that.
top.
All of
Judgy,
them
Judgy
do
don't do that.
Did you watch college baseball the past week or so at all? By any chance?
I watched a little bit. I watched the selection show today too, but I did watch a little bit of it.
The college baseball surprised me. If they hit doubles now, they have like routines.
I know.
That's what the
dancing
MLB
routines.
is like that.
I know.
I mean, you know what? You can't take it away. They're not doing anything wrong, I guess. And they're
not.
younger. And you sound so old when you say you don't like that, but I don't like that.
I don't like. See, See, DG's with us on this.
All
one.
right. With us? With you.
With me.
With you.
I wonder how the coaches are now. Like,
Oh, God.
you know, how they. That's why I would like to have people like Rick, if we can get Rick on, because just ask him what the state. Because when I played, it was the most like hard nosed asshole coaches ever. It was. They would not have put up with this stuff at all.
I think they almost have to. Just like
They
the
have to, yeah.
football coaches put up with all that stuff in college now too. And I mean, what are they going to do? But yeah. Hey, what do you think about
hang on.
What?
You guys were talking about Harper. And so I did want, there's a stat I saw about him, and you're saying, but I just want to ask you guys.
But ejections?
Who has the most ejections as an MLB player?
Oh, current player?
Yeah.
It's not Harper, is it?
It is.
Yeah, it might be.
He has 21. He's been tossed
Holy
21
crap.
times.
I didn't.
This season?
Second, no.
Oh.
In his career.
Yeah.
Second place is 8.
Wow.
For current.
All right,
current player.
He's an older player now.
I'm surprised.
But he used to get tossed a lot.
He did. And
He would argue balls and strikes a lot.
And they are literally tossing people for everything these days. So.
For nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely.
They are.
It's like the NBA refs now.
Oh my God, no kidding. Hey, how about the Dodgers are on a losing streak?
A
Lost
little
5
bit of
in
a
a row.
slump. They're slumping.
I know. What's going on with that machine out there? I think they're
going to be just fine in the long run.
Well, they're still in first place by like 5.5 games.
By a mile.
But you know what's surprising though? We've following like the Diamondbacks. Last year they were like the darlings.
They have struggled this year.
They're maybe one team. And we were talking last time about the Reds. I like the Reds.
They're struggling
they
now
have a
too.
good team, but they're just bottom of the barrel, man.
I'll tell you what though, Ellie De La
Look
Cruz is
up the Reds'
amazing.
home run numbers.
Who's that?
Home run numbers for the Reds.
As a team, if we can see where they stand, I have a belief that ballpark crushes hitters.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it's a really big park, and it's hard to hit home runs there.
Okay.
So home run leaders right now is at 9. Ellie De La Cruz has the highest. The highest batting average on that team is 247.
Oh my god.
And that's Ellie De La Cruz as well.
You're kidding.
Yeah, RBIs, Spencer Steer has 35. Hits, De La Cruz has 47. Ellie's pretty much
The whole thing.
Yeah, he's that whole team. He has
Wow.
over 30 stolen bases already. Like, he's killing it, but there ain't much around him. There's just not much
I'm
around
surprised.
him.
I thought they were going to do good. They're kind of a young team. I was hoping they would do well. I kind of like Cincinnati.
So 50 total home runs on the year for that team.
Wow. That's
not a
50
ton.
seems low.
Yeah, that is low.
How many games in are they?
They are month and a half, so they are
45-ish?
50.
Yeah.
About
Yeah.
50 games. Yeah. Okay. Well, not bad. Not bad. I see the Rays, the Devil Rays are not in last place. They're right above my favorite coach, Blue Jays.
Yeah,
You ever
your
watch the Blue
favorite
Jays?
coach.
Gary, you watch the Blue Jays?
No.
You ever seen their coach?
I don't even
Oh,
know who
God.
coaches them.
Schneid. He gets off to Schneid.
He's so angry about it.
I don't like
That
him.
he hates him. And it's
He's
because
always
of one
chirping
game.
over
It
it.
was one
He's
game.
always chirping.
It was one game last
He's
year.
a chirper.
Against
Let's-
the Yankees.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course against the Yankees.
But he chirps at the other bench, which bothers me. Chirp at the ref or whatever, but he's a bench chirper.
My favorite thing that Bunk over there does is defend Aaron Boone after every single MLB umpire has said they don't like dealing with him. He's a prima donna. I'd rather have a different manager.
He's
Yeah.
on the Yankees.
Good peeps.
I know. So good peeps. Good peeps.
Good peeps. All right.
Now tell me this: is he good peeps if he gets knocked out of the playoffs this year?
I still like him. I was hoping he'd get back. I still like him. I think
I'm
he's a
just
good coach.
saying.
Yes, good peeps. Good peeps.
We're gonna go ahead and clip this. And we'll revisit this later in the year because I have a feeling your tune's gonna change, buddy.
No, my tune stays right where she is. I'm
Well,
telling you right
Tampa's
now.
shitting the bed, so
Yeah, they're
it's
not
been
doing
a
well.
very rough
Not doing
couple
well.
weeks, and just injuries are mounting.
Oh, here we go.
Yep.
Here we go.
Kansas City's starting to slip, and
Kansas-
Cleveland is hitting the shit out of the ball right now.
Kansas City's 8-2 over the last 10 games. How are they slipping?
They're starting to slip a little bit. They had first place. Cleveland's killing the ball,
Gary,
though.
they're 34-20. Are they slipping? No.
No.
They're slipping.
Bobby Witt Jr. 's
Slipping
crushing.
and sliding. A crocodile mile over here.
Oh boy. Oh, boy.
They're the crocodile mile.
You know who's not doing well is the Texas Rangers.
They are not doing well. They're 25 and 29.
They're 3-7 over the last 10 games.
That division's weaker than I thought it would be for sure. I mean, you're looking at the leading team in that division is only 2 games above 500.
Yeah, that's the Mariners.
Second place is 4 games under 500.
Hey, what do you think? Have you seen the news today? You know, Acuna is lost for the season.
Out for the season.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they just ACL or something.
Yep,
So,
tore his ACL out for the season.
I feel bad because the Braves are one of my No, they're not. I don't like the Braves.
I almost thought you were going to say you like him because you would have some of his cards.
I don't. I don't have any of his cards either.
Doesn't have his cards. Hates him.
Hates him.
He's trash.
Ronald, he is a really good player.
As my kids would say, that's trash, bro.
He ain't trash, bro. He broke out.
The Phillies just keep winning,
Phillies
man.
are brutal, man.
They're killing the ball this year, too. And their pitching looks great. That's the big thing. They have a great lineup, but their pitching is holding up this year.
And my Mets are coming in strong. No,
they're not.
Do you think they're going to get rid of Alonso?
Pete,
I
should.
I don't watch baseball.
Got to watch Petey Alonso.
All right,
These names are actually interesting because they were around when I was watching baseball a lot.
Okay.
Here you go.
He's like my age now.
Here you go, Mid G.
Actually, I think I played against him.
Meaty G.
Mate, Pete
I
Alonso.
think I did. Can you look up how old he is? I bet he's 37 years old and I played against him.
He's
Meaty
not.
G, he's
29.
not that. He's
Oh,
young.
Oh, I'm thinking of somebody else.
The polar bear. Did you play against the polar bear?
No.
What about the Martian?
No, I don't.
Did
How
you
about the
Martian?
Spaceman?
I know, no. I did play against Stanton.
Giancarlo?
That was when he was Mike.
It was Mike.
Wait,
Michael.
Mikey,
It was
little
Michael.
Mikey Stan.
It was Michael Stanton back then.
Oh, did you pitch against him?
No, I think I got the guy out ahead of me. He was on the deck.
Oh,
Hey, didn't
nice.
you match up against Cole Hamels?
Yeah, we did. Actually, this is a funny story. Actually, I started that game, which was rare because I never started after high school really. And their bullpen was under construction, so he had to warm up on the same pen as me. And we were this close to each other as me and you, maybe like 5 feet. And this is in his prime, his absolute prime. And the dude's throwing, and it looked like meatballs. He's throwing, it looked like 86, 87. He was dotting him up, but it looked slow. He didn't throw it. He actually threw pretty hard. I was like, wow, dude, this is what it is. I'm dominating him right now. And he's worth millions and millions.
That
I'm
arm
wondering
is
where
gold.
my lunch is coming from.
Did you say that arm is gold and mine is aluminum?
His hair was unbelievably sheen, feathered, and beautiful.
Feathered and furious, Cotton.
Yeah, that was cool. That one in the spring training outing I had against the 2007 Yankees. That's just a good question. Who can you remember? 2007 Yankees. I'll pull up the roster.
2007. That was still
who's on that roster?
Yeah, just give me guys on the roster.
that was still Jeter.
Jeter,
yes.
A-Rod.
Posada.
Posada,
A-Rod?
yes.
A-Rod.
A-Rod hit 53 bombs that year.
Oh yeah, he was a monster, man.
I think this is at the end of their run, wasn't it? Kind of when it all started to fall
2007.
apart. a
Yeah,
little?
2007. So you still have Rivera still on that team.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pitching wise, you got Andy Pettit.
Yep. I think he was the ace.
Clemens is done.
Yes,
Is
no.
he still there?
He's there.
Clemens is
Oh,
still
wow.
there.
Yeah.
Wells is gone. Sabathia isn't there yet.
No. I thought he was. No, he was
Messina.
They didn't have,
Mike Messina was on
Mike
that.
Messina
yeah,
was.
he was a pitcher. He was
Didn't
their
they
number
have,
3.
Gardner on there too?
Gardner.
Brett Gardner.
I think
Brett
that was,
Gardner?
Gardy?
that was before
The head?
Gardner.
Gardy.
The head.
Yeah, he was still incubating. The head.
So you have Robinson Cano at second
Yeah,
base.
yep.
You've got Jeter at short. A-Rod at
got almost
third.
all of them.
You've got
What about the big dog?
hang on. Giambi's playing first base then,
Giambi is, yes.
or DHing. You've got
You're only missing like 3 people. Two.
Posada behind the
Who
plate.
was third base? I'm trying to think.
A-Rod.
A-Rod.
A-Rod was third.
Left field.
That's right.
Left field.
That's when you're missing.
Left
Big
field.
name.
It wasn't Bernie Williams.
No, he was gone.
He was gone.
Bernie was gone.
But came in
Oh,
with
Neil's
another,
gone.
shall I say, Godzilla.
Oh, that's right. Hideki.
Becky Matsui.
Matsui. And then center was not Ellsbury. He wasn't on the Yankees then. He was still
You
in
probably don't
Boston.
remember this one. It was
Oh.
Melky Cabrera.
Oh,
Melky Cabrera.
okay.
That's right. He struck out
And they had
a
Doug
lot.
Mankiewicz, who was the kind of odd man,
Yeah,
although he was
yeah.
a beast.
He was a beast.
Yeah.
He would have been the star in any other team, but that team was
Yeah, they were pretty
loaded.
stacked.
And they had, of course, the outfielder who was the backup was Johnny Damon that year.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Great Joba Chamberlain.
Oh man,
Pitching.
Joba was good.
Clemens, Mikey
They
C,
ruined Joba.
Chen Ming Wang, Scott Proctor, Tyler Clippard. That must have
Proctor
been like
was
his first
good. Yeah.
year.
Clippard's first.
Ian
No, he's
Kennedy.
already out.
Anyways, my whole point of saying that
They
was
has a
that
stacked
that
team,
was
man.
it was at the end of spring training that year, and I got to face like the lineup, kind of one time through almost, and it was just and they didn't do anything. I think they scored a run, and it was spring training, so they're not putting it all out there, but probably one of the highlights of my life is pitching to that lineup with Joe Torre in the other dugout.
That is really awesome. That is
Sleepy Joe Torre? No, not Sleepy Joe. I'm sorry.
Joe Torre was not sleepy.
Boy. Hey, you know what I was most impressed with right now, Gary?
Yeah.
Pick's knowledge of the Yankees.
He actually almost nailed the whole lineup.
I think he's a closet Yankee.
I could give you probably honestly I could probably give you Boston's.
No, I don't.
A lot of Boston's lineup then too.
Yeah, who plays second for Boston? Anybody know?
That was Pedroia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Johnny Damon played for them too, by the way.
He did, but he was on the Yankees that year.
I know. Okay, I'm very impressed that you're a Yankee guy deep down. Love it. We're not gonna ask you to name any other teams because I want you to stop right there.
I could name most teams.
I know,
but the Yankees are so you just remember them.
I know,
they're iconic lineups.
Well, because and they're literally always on TV.
Yeah.
I could name probably a couple of the teams, different teams for sure.
Don't because you're ahead. We don't want you to lose now. I liked it. All right, hey, that was good. That was a good story. Did you face like A-Rod?
Yeah, I think so. It was at the end of spring training, so they all would have gotten their 1 to 2 at bats.
God, that's awesome.
And I started the game for whatever reason. Again, I never started really, and it was pretty cool.
So, were you a Pirate or a National at that?
That was the Pirates.
The Pirates.
That was my first spring training with the Pirates. Yeah.
Nice.
We drew. I think that they're saying Port St. Lucie, maybe the Yankees.
Yep.
It's kind of a shithole, to be honest.
Really?
It's like chain link fence, but yeah, it's not very nice.
I'm surprised.
Pirate Town,
Pirate City.
Pirate City
Was kind of all that. They just built like a La Quinta next to the baseball field and told everybody they had to live there.
That was for you guys.
I remember that La Quinta.
That was a step up because they had us in the Red Roof Inn.
Oh, I remember that.
It might have been a La Quinta, and there were some.
Yeah,
we'll call them ladies.
A little shady, a little sketchy.
With some ladies.
Some may say lot lizards.
Oh my God! All right, that was. Hey, that was before the minor leaguers were getting paid. Now they get paid pretty good. That was when you were getting.
Well, I saw their salaries. They don't. I mean, they get paid now
more than you did.
Yeah, more than I did because not only did we get paid $1,200 a month, tax that, plus I have to pay the clubhouse several hundred for various things.
Hey, that's actually a good thing. Because I remember when you were playing, what did you have to pay him for?
The clubhouse, you would always pay the clubbies. I think it was $100 a month for the basic just to wash your clothes.
Okay.
All right. And they wanted that shit in cash. So you would pay that and then
no tax on cash.
Usually how they would run is you would have an older clubby. And he would be the main guy. And then he would have like 1 to 2 other kind of younger guys that worked with them. Now, you could also get like the premium package. It wasn't called that or anything, but you could just ask them to they will take a toothbrush and clean your shoes with brushes.
Oh, gosh.
They'll actually like clean your locker really nice. Whatever you wanted them to do, but that is expensive. It's extra hundreds and hundreds. So all the big league guys are, their cleats are looking perfect. They're spray painted every day. They're clean washed. They got suede shoes and they look beautiful.
Wow.
And what about for Meaty G over here?
Meaty G was rocking my agent, Brian Swally from Dynasty Athletes. Shout out, Brian.
Shout out to you, Brian.
Sent me a glove the first time.
I remember that glove, the kangaroo glove.
I was like, man, all right, just please be a big name brand. I'll take anything. Give me a Rawlings, give me a Wilson. Anything.
It was McCooney.
He sent me a glove by this company called Swenson.
Oh, that's right.
And it was made out of kangaroo meat.
It was good. It was kangaroo leather.
And it's just one guy in his garage in like Wyoming or Montana. The glove actually was kind of cool looking, but it was a pile of shit. And I got released by the Nationals. And I go to my locker and there's this kid he'd just gotten drafted, 18 years old from high school. And I think it was the same day he reported, and I gifted him my Swenson, and everybody clapped. And I left the locker room. That's awesome. And that was the end of my baseball career right there.
Oh, boy.
It was a good farewell.
It's Swenson glove.
Were they playing Foo Fighters, There Goes My Hero as you walked out?
No.
They were playing Jukebox Hero.
I got released in my underwear. I got sent down naked.
Oh, my God.
With like a hand towel on me.
Hey, I do have to ask you because I heard a story this week. So, when you were in the minors, did you ever have any of the big league guys come and do rehab?
Oh yeah,
so
all the time.
So what I heard is one of the guys down there. So they're saying that when they come down, like they buy like dinners and stuff. Is that right?
Yes, they do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they usually come down. I think they understand, especially in those days when you made nothing. They would,
Well, because
usually
they
take
went
everybody
through
to-
partially that as well.
Well, here's a use case. Ian Desmond played with me in the minors for several teams. And then he got called up to the bigs like the year was playing. And that year he just went on a real hot streak. I don't know if you remember. Like he was super good for like 3 or 4 years. And he would always come back and give players,
Nice.
even though we played with them and it's like a 1-to-1 peer thing. He knew. You give the minor league guys.
Oh, that's awesome.
Give them some food.
That is cool.
Usually buy them some sandwich. You just get them what they and then in spring training they'll take you out of Pirate City and come hang out with them and get dinner and like hang out at their place or
That's
something.
cool. That's cool.
You go get,
a
you
nice
go get
tradition.
that Jersey Mike's party tray, bring it on into the clubhouse.
That's kind of what they did.
Some half and half Arnie Palmers
Hey,
for everybody.
I'm sure it was like a big step up from what you normally
It
got.
seems small. I cannot tell you
It's
how much it
huge.
meant to go
Oh.
get a good dinner, like
Oh.
a good steak with a big league dude. Yeah.
I'm just saying, I remember living lean with you, buddy, while
Yeah.
you were in spring training. And I saw
yeah.
firsthand experience. We were those 50-cent hot dogs at at Walmart.
Yeah.
Where's the discount
We
packs?
would get that, and then we'd get the $1.99 wine bottle
Yeah.
from Walmart.
It's Boone's
Oh, boy.
Farm.
I hate wine, but it was the cheapest available.
Hey, Boone's, now you're coming back to the 70s with Boone's Farm, baby.
That was there. Oof.
They still make it. We had to get Clayton Dill. I had to reach out to him because he can corroborate all these stories.
Again,
Yeah,
man,
that'd be
we had
awesome.
so much old Dilly. My favorite story was I was definitely overweight, and we went to the golf course, and Meaty G, that's your new nickname for right now. Meaty G. Meaty G was like, all right, just tell him you're the bullpen catcher. And they looked at me.
I do remember
They
this.
looked at me and they were like, "Geez, that's nothing to do with that team." But
He
I
let you on.
had the Nationals hat on.
Yeah,
I was
think
like,
I
I'm
gave
the
you a hat.
catcher.
I do remember that.
Turtle Creek. Shout
Turtle
out
Creek.
Turtle Creek Golf Club.
Shout 'em
That
out.
was so fun. Oh my god. I think this came up when we were talking maybe on the podcast, maybe not when I was here last time. It's like the feeling when you made it and it was the national anthem when you're like Little League All-Stars. It's like, oh dude, this is awesome. When you could leave spring training after pitching drills early at noon and go to the golf course, that is when I
Oh,
felt
that's
like
awesome.
I made
That's
it.
awesome.
Yes.
There was times where we even snuck in the Vieira Golf Course.
Yeah, we did.
Paid a little extra.
Yeah.
Good
Most
stuff.
of the time, it was the shitty golf course, though.
Yep.
Good times. Good stories. I bet you got a lot of stories.
Yeah. I was on
there's a
baseball, not a story, but to bring it up, I was watching college baseball, and Penn State made it to the Big Ten
I actually
championship,
saw that yesterday.
which was, I don't know. I didn't really watch them throughout the year, so I can't say if they were good or not. Their record was decent. They were a little over 500. They had to go in and sweep the last series against Maryland. They do. They sweep it.
Yep.
That gets them the last seed in the tournament. Then they go on a winning streak to the championship and lose 2-1 to Nebraska.
Yep.
So shout out to Penn State. That's really cool.
That is, and that's MLB's alma mater.
My alma mater, yeah.
Penn
And that's
State.
unusual for Penn State.
I actually saw
Your
that.
almond mother.
They were
Yes.
the 8th seed in the tournament too,
Yep.
and
Last
I saw
seed,
that.
yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I was watching. I'll just train just real quick. I was watching the selection show just a little while ago for the NCAA men's.
Yeah.
And Penn State didn't make it, but
Yeah.
Texas did.
Texas did.
They got in the same. They're in the
Were
same
they
bracket.
on the bubble?
They were.
They were.
Oh,
They have not been.
I thought they were pretty good.
They're not a normal Texas team this year.
Yeah, they go
It's
on.
definitely a down year.
Their streaks haven't been. Their record doesn't look too bad, but they haven't done. So they're in the same bracket now as Texas A&M. So they're playing up at Texas A&M.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's
So,
the host field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And A&M is very good this year.
Yeah, A&M's
Very
pretty, A&M's
good.
pretty good.
Man,
So-
did you? This is a side adjacent bar. Have you been watching college softball at all?
Absolutely.
I love watching
Texas
it, though.
women are killing
The
it
Texas
right now.
Texas A&M.
They're so good.
Maya Perez comes up and
Yes.
it's a 3-run bomb.
Dude.
I have never been
It's just-
stoked on softball that I was like shaking and
They were
yelling. It was
screaming
so
at
cool.
each other. It was awesome.
At the end, did she hit it at the end of the
she
game?
hit a
It was
bomb.
an elimination game. They were down
Yeah.
5-8. It was 2-2 with 2 outs and 2 on. And this a freshman hitting 200. I don't think she had any extra base hits, but she is like a legendary home run derby. She smashes one dead
Oh,
center.
man.
Yeah.
3-run bomb.
Everybody had the two fingers rubbing the hat at that.
They ended
Twos
up
on
losing.
twos.
It was one of those moments in sports when you're just like, oh my god.
That is awesome.
Texas went in as the number 1 seed.
They
I
advanced.
believe.
They
Yeah,
won,
we're
yeah.
number one
Yeah.
in the country.
Yep.
But I love watching the women's softball.
It's
Oh,
so
man.
competitive.
It is really good.
It seems very fair and competitive. It's just like the ultimate sports.
Yeah, I and they got some guns on them. Those
Yeah.
girls, they can throw.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Yep.
Those pants are tight.
They are tight.
All right. All right, sir.
Tight pants.
They do.
Oh, I was about to. What are you looking at on those tight pants there? Meat G. As a good friend of the podcast would say, the taters and bears.
Taters and bears and the printers.
The printers.
The printers.
What about the
Must be
chunks
an
of
old one.
change?
Now we're in gross territory.
All right, we got to reel it in, reel it in, reel it in,
settle it
reel
down.
it in.
Well, since we're on college, talking about college sports, right? NCAA finally came through and is going to pay all players.
Oh God, I
Yeah.
hate it. Worst
I
news
wanna
of the
hear-
We
week.
get a salary now?
The worst freaking
The schools can pay players now.
horrid,
Oh.
horrid.
Why?
Where does the money
Horrid.
come from?
From the NCAA, it's the tier system from the
Because they're
NCAA.
students, a student athlete,
All
not
sports, right?
employee athlete.
All sports.
It's horrid.
We all know
So
where
how much,
most of it's.
How
gonna
much
get.
is a women's lacrosse player making?
They should be making the same as the men's
How
football
much
player.
is it, though?
So they have it in a tier system, and it's performance based. So if your team's in tier one, you
team.
get it's $100,000 a year divvied between everybody. If you're in tier two, I think it was like $75,000, and it goes all the way down like the last tier, which I feel really bad for because it's all like the group of 5 teams.
Of course it is.
They're having to divvy up like 23 grand between all their, so everybody gets $5.
So but you know why they did it. So they're trying to
Yeah,
stave
because
off
that
lawsuits.
lawsuit.
It's the only reason they're doing it. And
Yeah.
it's the
For
worst
NIL
decision.
lawsuits?
Yeah,
Well, lawsuits, from kids not getting paid, basically. And it's just the friggin'
But the
worst
NIL
thing.
was external from NCAA.
it
was.
was, but now it's not. Now that
It's
schools,
folded under NCAA now.
yes, now the schools can pay the kids.
Hate it.
NCAA is the grossest organization
It
on the
is.
history of this earth.
They have made some questionable moves over the years.
They should not even be the governing body of anything.
honestly, the best thing college sports could do right now is football. Obviously, is making all the decisions when it shouldn't. There's so many other sports. They should keep all the other teams. Like the Pac-12 should stay the Pac-12 and all those other sports because it's in that region. Football, fine, go play somewhere else. But they shouldn't put like basketball on a Wednesday night. You got to fly across the country.
I thought about that.
That's brutal, man.
I thought about that when I was watching Penn State.
Stanford is in the same conference as Florida State.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stupid.
And when you consider, so where it becomes an issue is you consider Penn State's going to go travel to USC or UCLA for their first Big Ten, or they're going to go play them out, and it's going to be Penn State's first outdoor activity
Yeah,
of the
and it's
year.
gonna be hot.
And it's going to be UCLA's 14th game.
Yeah.
And they're in the same conference.
Yep.
That's a problem.
It's messed up.
Yeah, so they need to fix that. They screwed the pooch on that one. The NIL thing they handled horribly. Now it's the Wild West. It's honestly
No, the whole thing
It's
is
the Wild West.
So I gotta say this on the NIL thing. So I'm anti all that.
I
stuff.
know you are.
But did you see? Like, I don't know if you read this, Gary.
Jalen Rashada.
No, Deion Sanderson had to file for friggin' bankruptcy.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my
Shiloh Sanders.
God, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he's filed.
Shiloh Sanders.
he
so he would. Yeah, he wouldn't get.
he got
because they
like $12 million.
Is that like a
of
strategic move?
Yes, it
Yeah,
was
because
because
he's
they were
getting
after him for
sued.
$11.7 million.
Who was after him?
I'm not sure who it was.
taxes?
It might have been taxes.
But I mean, they've made all that money, and they're online with showing all these hundreds of $1,000s cars, and he had to file back.
Deion Sanders.
He's in friggin' college. He's already
Yeah.
filed bankruptcy, and he's already made more money than any of us will ever make in our lifetime.
So we're quickly seeing the problems that NIL can cause. I mean, Jalen Rashada was promised $13.5 million. He's suing Billy Napier, the head coach of Florida, because
He didn't get his money.
Because he didn't get his money.
And I bet it was written down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we're
messed
starting to see the problems NIL can pose.
That's at like the 0.01%.
Yes, it
though.
is, and that's at the highest level.
And I think there's
That's at
actually
the
a
highest
lot
level.
of good. Let me
Thank
put this
you.
situation to
Thank
you.
you.
Bunk.
Okay.
Bunk
How many
hates it.
times did I call you for $5 trying
lot
to
of
eat
times.
lunch in college?
A lot of times.
Like a lot.
Oh, my
Like a lot.
My favorite story was from Great Bunk.
Oh.
Calls. Just talk to Meaty G over there. He's just cold, sitting at the bus stop. He's down.
He's
He's
down
down.
today.
It's cold. He's just sitting there all alone, cold.
I was
He's
the
down.
happiest of
no
my
food.
life.
Now you were down and you
No
know
food.
I
it.
was not
no
down.
food. No money.
I might have been tired from the great fun that I had just had. But
No, I agree. I mean, I get that, but
you're looking at the use. It is being abused at the 0.1%.
Yeah, so
It is. Yeah.
But for a player like me, if you could take it all back, if you were to give me 10 grand,
yeah,
if you were to give me $500 a month,
yes.
that would have gone
Huge.
a long way for myself and my family.
I agree. But I think just overall, it just got thrown out there.
It needs a better
and
structure.
you got
There's
kids.
just no railings.
You
on
got
it.
kids
Right.
driving friggin' Ferraris and
Yeah.
Lamborghinis.
I mean, Quinn Ewers signed a
is
deal
that?
with private. He gets a private jet. He has a deal with a private jet company.
which is
So-
ridiculous.
But are you willing to accept those? You're naming these players; they're so rare.
Yeah.
yeah.
Are you willing to accept they get a little
I am.
bit for the greater good? You figure women's sports are actually getting a little bit.
Yeah, they
A
should.
little bit.
They
They're
should-
no, they
should
are.
get-
I mean, look
and it's
at
helping them a little.
look
you know?
at women's basketball. A lot of those players became a household names because of NIL, and I mean they're amazing players like Caitlin Clark, and I know that's the 1%, but everyone on her team got NIL deal because of it. So you are starting to see more people
but
make money.
it's got to be. They got to have some management to it. Though.
I would- if
I
they're
don't. What I
doing
don't
it,
like
though.
is here's what I don't like. Probably more than them. I don't. The money thing isn't probably the biggest thing. The biggest thing for me is that they can play 1 year at some school and then go, oh, I can go jump over to another school and get a big NIL deal and make money. And that bothers me.
Well, so what's really interesting about this Jalen Rashada thing is he was going to sign this deal for multi-year for 4 years. Okay. So if I'm a kid and I go to Penn State and I say, okay, I signed this NIL deal for 3 years. I hate the school after 1 year. I'm going to transfer. What happens to that contract? Can the kid
I'll tell
technically
you
could get
exactly what
sued,
happens to
sued to
that.
get the money back at that point?
Right now, I have vested stock, and if I get fired or quit, I don't get it.
Yeah.
And if they leave, they don't get it. That's how. it
No,
should
I
be.
know that, but you have an obligation to fulfill in a contract. You could get sued
The
as
school, you
a
mean?
17-year-old kid.
Oh, you mean the
the
kid?
NIL.
It depends on how
person,
the contract is
right.
That's
structured.
how it's written.
That's what I'm saying. If
I
it's
don't care
over-
how old they are. I don't. You look at all these Disney kids growing; they're signing contracts.
Yeah.
You need to get a lawyer if you're talking that big
That's-
of money.
yes.
You need a lawyer, and if you
Yep.
don't, that's on you.
Well, I'll tell you know what? I will
So I
tell
think
you,
it's a slippery slope that it could go both ways.
It
Now
could.
we could see those boosters suing kids after they transfer.
Well, I saw one thing I saw, and it was some Penn State kids that graduated, and when NIL was coming out, they had decided that they were going to get involved and help the student athletes
remember
manage
this.
the NIL. That I think is awesome,
yeah.
and so it's not just like some kid and his family, making and I get it. I mean, they all, the money's great, but you still have to perform. But I did like that. It was a group at Penn State that did that. Some ex-players.
I remember that. But just to give you like a 2020 vision looking in the past, it didn't work. And Penn State is notoriously still trying to
they're
catch up
way
in the NIL
behind.
department. They're very far behind.
Texas did the smartest thing by putting a collective together that was called the Texas One Fund, and it is distributed to every single student athlete.
Well, that I agree with.
and
then.
so they have. So how they're doing it is they're collecting the donations from Texas X's, from graduates or whatever. And instead of the funding going to a new building, they're divvying it to all the student athletes. You also have the Pancake Fund. That's one fund. Say,
lineman, 15
yeah, if you just want to
grand or
do
something.
like, hey, the linemen don't get enough credit, they're giving the linemen get that.
I don't know. Pause on that. How are you? The linemen are getting all the credit in football nowadays.
Nowadays,
Like they are the number
like-
one position.
I know that, but not interior linemen. It's tackles. It's the tackles getting all the recognition. A center.
Maybe the media love.
What's center?
Maybe the media love. But I think for strategy and scouting and,
Oh,
and
it'd be
actual
smart
money,
is to give all the money to those guys. That's
Yeah.
protecting your
yeah.
most valuable
All
asset.
right, I might reassess
Hey,
my thought
we
process a
got
little
a
bit.
mind change.
But it's got to
here.
be. Honestly though, it's got to be right. It's got to have somewhere where it's fair for everybody. I think you're right. I do. You only see the guys that are making millions, which is a little ridiculous to me. And then you got to so let's say that you got a quarterback making 3 or 4 or 5 million on NIL, and you got the linemen that are sitting in front of him making like 10 grand. What the hell? I mean, I get it that the one's a bigger name and they're doing advertising. That's what they're doing, right? That's how they're getting the money. They're doing advertising, but
to ever regulate that, you would have to have a governing body like the NCAA step in.
Oh, God.
And that's when corruption
And
absurd
NCAA has
happens.
pretty much said, we don't want to deal with any of this. You guys deal with it.
all right, I'm going to reassess my position.
Question. Did the NIL lead to the Big Ten and SEC Super Conference?
100%, dude.
So that I think it's a direct result of you opening up the transfers, number one, paying kids NIL, and now you're leading to 2 super conferences, which is looking in the future like we're just going to have one conference.
Honestly,
Or
yeah,
2
it'll be like the NFL.
North and South.
Yeah. But so here's how I see it going, because those lower end teams are not going to be able to survive in that market, right? With those
Not
2
even
big.
close.
So what I see happening is there's going to be 2 college footballs. There's going to be SEC Big Ten. There's going to be everyone else. And the SEC Big Ten are going to be their own thing. They're probably going to get the best players because that's going to get the most exposure. But they'll have their own championship, national championship, and you'll have another thing that's going to be all those other teams. But I don't see how else to do it. How
I see how else to do it. You let them be a super group, but then when you go down to the 12-team actual playoff, you recognize other schools, and that levels the playing
But
field.
they're going to do that this year.
We'll see what they choose.
And they're going to get leveled.
We'll see if they
Those
choose
lower
11
end
Big
teams
Ten
are going
and
to
SEC
get
schools.
It's incredibly unfair to think with NIL, with transferring, with Wild West. It's incredibly unfair to think, hey, Boise State's going to stack up to Georgia.
But
It's not
at the
ever
end of
going to
the year,
happen.
what we are going to see is an 11-1 Northern Illinois team against 3-loss Georgia, and they're going to pick the 3-loss Georgia.
Yep.
And that's going to fuck college football
but
up.
no,
that is
so-
going to be the reason why we're going to go to 2 super.
But that 11-1 team, if they are the best group of 5 teams, they get an automatic
they're
bid.
not. Say there's a 12-0, I don't know, something else.
Yeah.
Kent State. They're gonna get that bid, and then they're gonna shut out the rest of the Power 5 who had 1 loss to probably, and the 1 loss was probably to like a Nebraska.
And that's why the fix of having Big Ten SEC their own thing, and then all the other schools, would fix that. I know it'd be a diminished product.
I would not like that.
I understand.
My favorite thing is to watch these schools. It's watching App State beat Michigan in 2007 or something.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
That is what college football is.
But in today's game, that App State team, every single one of those kids would have transferred and been gone.
Yep.
And that App State team would have been awful.
And that's what's going to
And
happen.
they would have sat out the bowl game knowing that they're going to transfer to get paid. So it would have been a shitty product on the field.
So it started with the transfer issue.
The transfer kicked up everything. And then honestly, the thing that kicked up everything was in 2013 when there was a group of football players that sued EA Sports because they still used their likeness, maybe changed the name, but same number and same look. And that started the talk of, hey, maybe these guys need to get paid. Those guys won that lawsuit. And the lawsuit took a long time, but all these other schools go, well, why the hell can't we just pay these guys then? I mean, let's just pay them. Let's start an NIL. Let's pay them. And then it exploded into the transfer portal because of COVID. And now there's guys 6 years in making $3 million, taking the spot of a 17-year-old.
Well, maybe the transfer, if they controlled the transfer thing,
that needs to be controlled.
That might help solve a lot of it.
And having the two open times, especially that first one where you look at like the backup quarterback last year for Texas couldn't play in the college football playoff because he was too scared he wouldn't have a team to transfer to because the window was at the same time.
The issue though you run into on the transfer is like you have a Dion going into Colorado and basically purging 80% of those kids, and those kids they shouldn't have to be penalized. They should be able to go and play right away.
They were awarded a scholarship they should
be able to go play
Not-
somewhere right away.
That's fine. If he says, "Hey, you're not going to play," that's fine. I still have my scholarship. He was like trying to take people's scholarships.
Well, yeah,
and shit.
he was because he was trying to open up
Yeah.
stuff for it. But I mean, the rules you gotta. I mean, it needs a lot. I guess it needs a lot of work.
It needs a
lot of
governing
thinking
body.
beyond just football, because
I think-
baseball, there's a lot of programs that are notorious for bringing in 50 freshmen
Yeah.
and keeping 7.
Yeah,
Or
And then just saying, go fuck off to the others.
yeah.
That's usually at either number one, the very highest level, or like JUCO level.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really have any visibility to see if it's happening nowadays anymore, but it used to be really bad. A lot of these schools in Texas, very close to us, did that.
Yeah.
Sanjak, number 1.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow. Well, interesting. Good discussion.
Well, we're on
Lads?
We're on a money talk right now. So there was another thing about money that came up this week, and I don't know if you guys saw this, but Antonio Brown filed for bankruptcy as
Thank
well.
God, I know.
How could he
Dude
not?
was worth $98 million. He said he had less than $50,000 in his bank account.
You
the
saw
way
how
he
he was
lives.
living.
Oh my God.
How do you waste that much money?
You
But
didn't
dude-
see the videos?
I mean, I know, but that's
Oh man, that money.
so much money.
Oh, but it goes so when you're spending like that money's gone, man. I mean, that's
That's crazy.
Not
That's so much
surprising.
money. Now he's saying, "Oh, I might be able to play still," and I'm like,
No.
oh my
What's
God.
it been, like 5 years?
"Yeah." When he walked off the
Before
field,
COVID,
he took
right?
his jersey off and just left.
Yeah, I mean, who would want him? Nobody would want him.
Hell
but,
no.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's all on him. These guys, some of these guys don't do good stuff with their money.
We're seeing that, and then in another NFL thing, we're starting to see all this crazy shit about kickers coming out. You guys see all that? First Harrison Butker,
Yeah.
and he said his views,
Yeah, I saw
whatever.
his.
Well, McManus just got accused of sexual assault.
Oh, I didn't know
Kickers,
that.
huh?
Yes,
Damn kickers.
Brian McManus.
Wow.
And then you had that other kicker. I can't remember what team he was on, but he had like sexual assault allegations against him too out west. What the hell's going on with
Yeah.
kickers?
I don't know. That's what,
What the hell's going on there?
I didn't see that one.
Yep, NFL kicker McManus accused of sexual assault.
Yeah. Well, accused.
How many kickers do you think are in the NFL at one point? At
30?
You think one per team?
Yeah, so
No backups.
McAfee has said on his thing before, like they had Vinatieri and he was the backup as the punter.
Yeah, I think they back him up with the punters. I think they try and get a punter that can kick.
Like
and
a
a
utility guy?
kicker,
Yeah.
but yeah. That's what I.
That's got to
or-
be one of the hardest positions to get in life.
Well, you look at like who was it? The Bengals, when their kicker went down, they didn't have a backup kicker, Chad Johnson, and then the next week they just signed somebody to.
That's the
They
problem.
pick 'em
They
up.
just picked somebody up, and then when their
For, like,
kicker
a
got
weak
healthy,
contract.
they just
I mean, you watch the games where those guys they missed like 2 field goals.
and they're gone the next week.
Immediately cut.
Yeah, they're gone.
It is a unique position because they don't
get
do that
drafted
enough.
usually.
Not very often.
Not
no.
very often, no.
No, there's like a pool of them though that are kind
I
of
wonder
hanging
if it's
around.
like if you're in college and you're a pretty decent kicker, maybe you're not the top 5. If you're like, fuck, is it worth it? Is it even financially worth it for me to try?
Right.
Yeah, like the kid from Texas, he's
Oh man, that's a whole nother story.
done good.
He's
Dicker
a
the kicker?
No, Bert Auburn.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
Oh no, I was thinking about Dicker the kicker.
Dicker the kicker.
That guy's
Yeah.
different. He's
That's
in.
different. Yeah,
And-
Justin Tucker. That's different. Those guys are like obviously they were.
yeah,
very
but,
good at it.
but I'm going to tell you, I've seen those in the past too, and the older guys they start falling off and.
Did you ever watch
they're gone.
the college game day with McAfee where he had the kids try to kick the field goal?
Yes,
Was it
it's so
no,
much fun. 30-yard
30-yarder?
field goal.
30.
No, I think I've seen one person make
I
one,
saw one make one.
and they gave
And
him
it was
a
a
second
second
chance.
Could you kick? Bunk.
Oh no,
No, I've tried.
we can't
15-yard
add,
field
you know
goal.
we
what?
can't add
When-
any more to this.
I'm going to tell you this: when
Field day.
when you guys were in high school playing, I remember a couple times I went just like, let me try this.
Yeah.
My God, I
Yeah,
can't
it's
kick
hard.
it 10 yards.
I know.
It's hard. It's really
really
freaking
hard.
That's why Boomer was so good at it, man.
Yeah, he was
Jason
good.
was good.
He was good.
And
You remember I was the deep snapper in high school?
Yep.
And I would get kicked in the ass more times than it would go through the
That's what
goalposts.
that's what Jason would do to me.
me in the back of the head.
I would snap. I asked him to. I asked the coach to not have me deep snapping as the center. I was like, can somebody else do this? So the quarterback ended up being the deep snapper that year. Jason kept hitting me in the back of the friggin' head. hard
I
too.
think I had to be the only quarterback in high school that wore a neck roll and was the deep snapper and played
Oh my
defensive
God.
end.
Oh my God. I can't remember who we were playing. We were playing that district game. We got called up. So I'm in the locker room with you, and I go, Gary, what are you doing over there?
I was gearing up.
You're gearing up. He was taping his shoes.
Clydesdales.
No, you
Had the Clydesdale.
you were like, oh, it looks cool.
2004
It looks
people.
cool. All he did was tape around the shoe, and then nothing connecting that tape to the one he put around the top of his ankle.
This is before
It's a looks.
YouTube.
It's all looks,
Before
buddy.
YouTube.
And
Before YouTube.
I looked at it, I was like, isn't that all supposed to be one? It's like to support your ankle, but I can't move if it's all taped up.
I had every accessory known to man.
Neck roll as a
I actually-
quarterback was my
The
favorite.
funniest, yeah, because I had the big like 80s style
Huge
roll.
neck roll.
Like,
I remember that.
Like think
I remember.
Brian Boswell style. And whenever I would get under center to take snap, I couldn't lift my head up, so I would just stare at the guy's ass and say that and hope that I could. We didn't read any defenses at Cocoa Beach.
No.
I hated every time I had to practice with you and I was the center.
That was so weird.
It was so weird.
The weirdest was
There was some rolling balls.
In middle school, I got Wes as a center at Pflugerville, and he was wearing gym shorts with no underwear.
Oh,
He was
hello.
rolling some balls there, friends.
Some balls
I was doing the quarter trick with my knuckles.
That's awesome.
That's gross.
That was
gross.
really gross.
Yeah, now that's
They were like, "Get under there, Amato." I'm like, "Oh my god, I don't want to."
my brother.
Help me.
Like it.
Holy crap.
He start farting on you on purpose.
Oh man, good
Hey,
stuff.
let's switch it over to basketball.
Yeah, let's.
I've been watching. I'm not a huge NBA fan, but I found the past like 3 years I've been sucked in by the playoffs. Mostly because they're just so consistent. Of it's every day at 7:00. There's
Yeah.
a game,
Yeah.
and I have been more into it than ever in my life. Luka Doncic. Let's start there.
Amazing.
Oh man, him and Kyrie
Watching
Irving right
him-
now are amazing.
He is amazing.
Both
He
of
is
them.
so frustrating to watch. He's barely jogging half the time. He complains 98%
I
of the
know.
game. This is like the post LeBron player.
Really bad defender.
Doesn't even try really. And then he just makes these
know.
ridiculous shots.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, this guy is not doing that great. Oh my God, he has 40.
Yeah.
It's
He
incredible.
he is amazing. He is amazing, man. And they're up. So both those series, Boston's up 3-0 and
Yeah.
Dallas is
Man,
up 3-0 on Minnesota.
Which is surprising.
That was surprising.
Dallas
and they
over
sat.
Minnesota.
I don't know. Have you guys been watching it?
Carl Anthony Towns
They
sat
sat him.
yesterday. I think they said he was hurt though.
I don't give a shit. He was not doing good.
He has not done good
And this
at
is
all.
it's been so refreshing to see.
Anthony
because
Edwards carrying that.
I
team.
never thought this. I don't know if this is a hot take. Maybe it's not. I have no idea. I never thought Carl Anthony Towns watching him play in very limited time watching him is very physical at all. Like not at all. And when he had people like kind of get up in him in these playoffs, he's not doing good.
He's always been a finesse big man. Always been a finesse big man.
Finesse big man playoff basketball is not that.
It doesn't.
Playoff basketball is 90s
different.
basketball.
It is. It is.
It's
It
very
is.
physical.
Shout out to Bill Walton who passed.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
he was that's the epitome of what the big men are these days.
That's when
now.
I watched the NBA back when the Detroit Pistons were. I mean, God, those games.
Try to get to the paint on that team.
You never.
Oh
went
my
in.
God,
You didn't
Rob-
go inside.
You're getting a black eye.
You
man.
already get a Rodman forearm to your neck.
It wasn't. It wasn't even Rodman. It was Bill Lambier.
Lambier.
Holy crap!
Lambier, yeah.
That guy was a friggin'
that
monster.
whole team was just they
I know, but when
just
you're
punching people
But
in
you
the
know
face
what?
every
The
game.
thing with like the Larry Birds and those guys, they got in there, man. And Jordan, they didn't
So what's
back
the
away.
difference? What's the difference between then and now? And take out it was more physical. You can't say it was just more physical.
You know what? I'm honestly gonna say I think the 3-point thing got
3-point game. It's more technical, maybe.
It expanded out the court. I think way out. And if you watch the games, there's a million 3-point shots.
There's big men guarding the three now.
I know.
There's big men hitting the three.
There's
Look
big
at
men.
Wembanyama.
There are.
You know what the game used to be?
Gobert.
The game used to be with like Jabbar and those guys and Kareem and when they were inside.
get it in the paint.
The thing was to get it to him inside, and then he would either dish it for to somebody for a jump shot, or he would turn and do it. And
So
they,
a typical
they don't
play,
do that.
pass it down to the guy. He would sort of do
That
the
he
ass
was
jiggle
he was
backup
the
thing,
center guy, yeah.
and then make a move.
Yeah. And that's not the game anymore. Is you're watching it. I'm sure they're tired because they're just running constantly. But it's all spread out now. It used to be really
A lot of
congested.
isolation.
It was always congested down there by the basket.
Was it also, what I'm curious about is in today's basketball, you give it to a guy, you're going to give it to SAG, you're going to give it to whoever's hot right now, Reed the other day, and you're just saying, just make it. And then everybody else sort of isolates and goes to the other side of the court.
The only one
They do.
ever did that with.
They do that a lot.
That was
here
big in the
now.
90s as well?
It wasn't. Jordan, it was big with Jordan because he was ridiculous.
Yeah, he made everything.
But other than that, honestly.
Kobe got that too.
Yeah, Kobe. But I mean, if I'm going back into like
That's
to the 80s
2000s.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Early
If I
2000s.
go to like the 80s and watch them play, that's.
Didn't happen?
No, it was
It was more of a big
more
man?
of a. Yeah. I mean, those guys scored points and they did stuff, but everybody was involved, but it revolved around that dude, the center.
What about the I don't even know how else to describe it, but it's like the booty ball where you get up to like the free throw line and you protect the ball, but you kind of leaned over and you're just boxing people out almost. Was that
Yeah,
around?
you're just backing them in, pushing them back.
Well, that's
The
kind of
Chris
where
Paul play.
Yeah, it's kind of where the big guys, the centers, would kind of position themselves in there, and then they would. I mean, like Kareem, he had the sky hook, friggin' get it into him,
And he'll
He
make it.
God, he just turned his, I don't know, 7 something, but he was ridiculous. But if he couldn't, he would kick it out real fast, and then somebody would make a shot.
So my thought is the physical style of defending is gone because of how cheap fouls
They
get
blow a
called.
whistle every 3 seconds.
Yes, that's the problem. You can't get in somebody like those big guys. They're not going to get the ball down there because they're just going to let the big guy go to the rim. Because if I go up with you,
The playoffs is not like that.
playoffs isn't. But I'm saying just in general,
A lot of fouls.
when you're watching, it's just the fouls are very, very. They're very ticky tacky.
Well, and the other thing, and maybe it did. Of course, my memory's probably not what it was, but I mean, like people flopping and stuff.
Yeah,
I don't.
that just
I remember like that didn't happen.
Rodman
People were
used to do that.
People were like,
but it was
They
like
are
his
penalizing
thing.
the flop now,
They are.
Yeah, they are.
which doesn't get called as much as you would like. Because I feel like they're afraid to actually say it was flopping if they're unsure.
Yeah.
Especially in the playoffs. You don't want to call, like make an impact on the game as a referee.
The games were, I mean, they were more, what I remember, of course, I remember them being a lot more physical than they are.
Take me back to the 70s. Bunk, some small shorts, basketball player.
Oh my god!
I was the
I've
guy.
seen a picture.
I was the guy. I had the headman. I used to
What
wear
are
the
your
headband.
tools?
I was a guard. And I could tell you the funniest thing. And back then at the Cocoa Beach Rec Center, we had a league, and then we would have an all-star team, and we would go to a state tournament, believe it or not. And so we would play, we would have our Cocoa Beach team playing against whoever. And I made the team when I was 11. And the one thing we had, and then we actually had your grandfather coached me. But the thing I could never do the layup where you do the, like in front of the rim, like the wrist
what's
roll
that called?
thing?
The little finger roll.
Finger roll. And it used to piss me off. I could never freaking
What
do
did you
that.
do? It
I used
straight
to-
up?
No, I used to have to just go to the side because I just couldn't do it.
But what was the problem? Were you like flicking it back?
I don't
at
know.
yourself?
No, I was probably too short, but I just couldn't do the damn thing. And I was so frustrated because that was so cool.
I was
where you
going to
could
say that
jump
must
up
be
and
a
do
very
that.
70s thing.
Oh man, it was awesome. But I had to I was the side guy who had to bank it in. But I played guard. I used to shoot from outside. I used to bring the ball down. But I was cool. I had the headband and the 1970s shorts.
Gross.
Long side. I used to wear the long
The
socks.
smugglers.
The smugglers. No, Smuggle Beach. And then
Smuggle Beach.
Smuggle
Gross.
Beach.
Smuggle Beach.
Gross.
But yeah, that was a good time. So I remember, I was just say this real quick. So we played a team from northern Florida, and you had to be under 6 foot. So they'd measure you.
Oh, wow.
So to be in the tournament, you had to be under 6 foot. No, 11 years old. I mean, we actually had a kid that was close to 6 foot. We went up and played this team.
They're all 5'11", 5'11",
We were
5'11",
watching.
5'11".
They were in front of us when we were all going for it. I'm like 5'2" or something, and we're watching them. Every single one of them is their head is barely brushing. I was like, holy shit! And they absolutely destroyed us. It was a team from the land, and they crushed us. They looked like they were like 15 or 16 years old. It was fun, and Good times back
Going
in the
up
beach.
against the nice, innocent, precious Cocoa Beach children.
Oh my God!
They had never seen anything
Oh
like
my
that
God,
before.
no.
But we had some good players. We had some kids. I think,
Protected
that-
The
life
funny
there in
thing about
Cocoa
Cocoa
Beach.
Beach, there are actually some
Yeah.
good players in
Basketball.
basketball especially. I don't
We
know
saw,
about anymore.
Like there were some decent baseball
They've had
players.
good
On that
athletes.
team,
good
we
football
had
players.
2 professional players on my high school team, 3, maybe 4 college players. That's like really good.
That's
On
really good.
basketball or
Baseball.
Baseball.
me,
On
me and Claybo played for the Pirates. Remember Claybo? He got
Yeah,
drafted,
Casey?
actually.
Yeah.
Did he? I didn't
He
know
did,
that.
yeah.
he did.
I sent a message to him being like, hey, because the coaches were all still there.
Yeah.
Helping him. He never, I think he wrote back thanks, but we never kept in contact.
Oh,
But yeah,
okay.
he went to the
Case.
Pirates too.
Brian Johnson
Played for the Red
played
Sox.
for
That's
the
what I
Red
was going to
Sox.
say before, but I don't think
Got a
he played with
ring. I think he got a ring with
He
the
may
Red Sox.
have. He may have. And he played up there for.
He was there for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did. I remember when I faced him, I was down on spring training, just warming up in like January, getting ready. And I went to the Cocoa Beach practice and played, and that motherfucker hit 2 doubles off me.
Dude,
Well, he
was
was
a
a hitting
machine, man.
machine.
Remember,
2 doubles. And they were like,
he hit the crap.
at this
out of
point,
the
I
ball,
was
man.
used to professional hitting,
He could hit, man.
and he could hit me.
He could hit.
He
And he ended up being an MLB pitcher.
yeah.
Pitcher. Yeah.
My favorite story about, shout out to Brian if you are listening, but we were playing district tournament at Merritt Island, and he hit a home run, but of course we're using aluminum bats at that point, right? The bat caved in.
Was it those green Gen 1X?
Yeah, the
They
Eastons.
always did that.
He still hit it out. He hit a home run and the bat caved in.
He was an unbelievable hitter.
And
he
He hit
it was
Florida, I
like,
think.
He
didn't
hit. He
did
played both ways
yeah,
in Florida.
it was like that Sandlot moment where we're like, oh my God.
I remember sitting behind. He was pitching, and I think
He didn't throw very hard at all.
No, Pick was playing, and I would sit behind home plate and just sit and be in amazement.
Nobody could get
nobody
it.
was hitting
Nobody
it.
could
I was
hit
like,
it, man.
That's
How
what I
can
was
you
talking
not
about
hit
earlier
him?
with Cole
He
Hamels.
just missed bats. He missed bats.
I know he didn't throw like real hard, and it looked like to me, it looked like God. If I was up there, I'd probably hit
The
that.
starting pitcher for Penn State the other day in the semis was throwing 84 to 86.
God.
And I was having flashbacks. I love you, Seth Whitehill. I don't like you. In the past, now I'm fine, but
Oh,
it's
I remember
so
it.
frustrating
I remember
when you
the
can throw
anger.
hard and you see these guys get up there throwing not even mid
I
80s
know.
and getting
I know.
outs.
That's
It's
crazy.
like good. It's almost as bad as when you're losing or winning so bad that a position guy comes in to throw and
Yeah.
get 3 outs,
Yeah.
and they don't shut up for the rest of the fucking season about how easy it is to pitch, and they're batting 205.
That's awesome. I like you. All right.
Oh,
Good
man,
stuff, good
This is
stuff.
good chat. Well, we have one more thing to address before we do have to take off. There is a business of a nickname. Medium G hates
What do you want to
Medium
be
G.
over there?
No. We've got
we have
some
one.
listener.
Oh.
We've got some listener suggestions.
Can I pick?
I'm going to give you all 4.
Okay.
Okay.
And then
All right, and then we'll see what you
what you
want
think.
to pick off of that. All right. So your first one is kabocha.
I don't like that one.
It's about your thumb
I
and
don't
a
even know what
knife.
a kabocha is.
How's
Not
that about my thumb?
not kombucha.
Yeah, I know.
Kabocha. It's a style of knife. And remember when you were cutting that?
Yeah, I still tell that story all the time.
Yeah. You Medium G over here almost filleted off his whole thumb.
did.
And I remember we were in culinary school that morning. I have to eat something. I just took the medication. So we had to hit the old McDonald's
strong
drive-thru.
medication.
Remember you were throwing up out of the car while I was getting our
my
sausage
God.
McBiscuits through the window. So
I don't
there's
know
one.
what they gave me, but it was so strong, dude. It was so strong.
Threw up all over
But I
the
did
place.
almost like take my whole thumb off.
It was gross. And then it's got stinky.
It
That was gross.
Yeah. It
Okay, so there's one. That's a no right there.
That's a no.
It sounds like we've got the G Pro or the GoPro.
not horrible.
Okay. All right. All right. The guarantee. It's a play on golf. Guarantee.
like this.
The guarantee.
This is the second time that he
I
said that, and I didn't get it until he
guarantee.
said golf again.
Gary on the tee.
Yes.
I get it now.
Yes,
He
I
had
got
to
it right
explain
away.
it. Yeah, explain it to me twice.
And and the last one right here.
2 okay ones.
I'm pretty sure Bunk hates this one because he doesn't want to call his child this, but the G spot.
no, I'm not. I don't like that.
I
one.
can't be that. I always miss it.
No. I
Still
knew
have
you
yet
were a
to
good
find it.
pitcher. You're a strikeout man.
Mythical. It's mythical.
Strikeout
38
pitcher.
years in.
That's a mythical spot for me.
I've heard about it.
Yowzer.
I read about it in a book.
Google it.
In a
Get a
book.
Googler.
You know, I'm going to make my own suggestion.
Yes.
No,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yes.
You can't give
Yo!
yourself a
Because I got a
nickname.
stronger option that's been a staple. It's been a staple from my boy. I'm going to throw it back over to
I love the B-Clot.
The B-Clot has got to be it. It's got to be B-Clot. B-Clot is better.
Okay, but what were you? Did you just sing?
Oh, that's for hold on. Landon.
The hell is that?
That's what he would say. He was Hawaiian. He'd say, hold on.
Landoggy.
Hold on.
Hopefully Landoggy K-Side's listening. He can hear all this.
K-Side was his AIM name.
Yeah, Landoggy K-Side.
From Landon down in Hawaii.
Oh
Yes.
my God, what's going on?
Don't worry about it over there, Bunk.
I got a blood clot when I was a junior at Penn State right before the season.
And it
I was
immediately
also
became
roommates with a Hawaiian, a very Hawaiian person. And he just always called me B-Clot.
You like that one?
I think that's got to be it.
I'm okay with
All
B-Clot.
right.
I mean, my
saying the
iPhone is
B-Clot.
called B-Clot iPhone. So it must be.
Oh, it's got to be B-Clot. God, that's kind of gross to say, but okay.
But
Why
I always
is
think
it
of Landon,
gross to
though.
say?
When you think of Landon, it's not that
Clot.
gross.
It's gross.
It's a clot. It's gross.
Yeah, but it's B-Clot.
It's the B-Clot.
All right, we're going with
Different.
B-Clot.
It's different.
All right, so we have Bunk, Pick, and B-Clot.
All right.
Oh, boy.
Now, Big G's going to need a new one, too.
Big G. No, we got to stick with Big G.
I love his nickname of,
The Rooster?
yes.
I like that, too.
Of Gallo Mojado.
Well,
That's my favorite
I like
one.
that one. Well, we're going to get him on
Do you
next time.
remember what that means, though?
Red Rooster.
No. Gallo Mojado is the wet
Wet
rooster,
rooster.
so he's the wet cock.
Okay. Woo!
That's what you want to be known as.
That's
Yeah,
what,
ouch.
that is what
Very
that is
moist.
what all of very moist. That is what all of the wonderful little Guatemalan cooks called him.
Okay. Okay.
Are we wrapping it up?
We are.
I have one question to ask. It's not a game. It's a question for Bunk.
Okay.
I was curious because we're getting some perspective back in history before we were young little bunklings.
Yep.
Who were the babes in the 70s?
Oh, come on. We all know this.
I want to know. We know
I
he's
can
gonna say
answer
Stevie
one for
Nicks.
him.
We know he's going to say
Stevie Nicks
I'm
is
talking about
numero uno.
Besides Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks.
My
Who were
Mrs.
the
Brooks.
babes?
My Mrs. Brooks from his radio shows.
No. I wasn't
He
listening
couldn't
to
see
him in
her.
the 70s. For
It's a radio show.
That he used his imagination.
Very sexy
Ooh,
voice. Very
nice
sexy
voice.
voice.
dude. Come on now. 70s. I got to go 70s.
Well, it could
70s,
be 80s.
80s.
Yes, early 80s,
Oh,
70s.
Goldie Hawn.
No, God, no, not Goldie. I didn't enjoy the Baywatch ladies.
You did? Yeah, I
did like-
remember. Me too.
Did you enjoy the slow motion
too.
bit part of that
Pam
show?
Anderson.
I did.
Did you watch The Love Boat for a certain love interest?
God, I loved the Love Boat.
Was there a
Holy
love interest
shit.
on there?
For a while, I liked the cruise director.
Cruise director.
Yeah, on the,
She sounds hot.
she was
Ooh,
she was
cruise
pretty-
director.
She was pretty hot. Can't remember her name right now.
Oh, directing. Ooh.
Ooh, it's a cruise.
These ladies are so attractive.
Yeah. That's I'm kind of a Stevie Nicks guy. So
Stevie Nicks, yeah.
still,
She was probably the hot thing. Yep.
she was good back then. I think.
Mrs. Bunk wasn't a fan.
No, Mrs. Bunk like Davy Jones, so we're even from the monkeys.
Davy Jones.
He was from the monkeys.
Locker.
His locker? On the bottom of the...
No.
Oh, different Davy Jones. Oh, I thought Miss Bunk was into pirates.
No. hey, matey.
She's got a pirate thing.
Yarr.
I know I found that one hook that we found when we were kids.
God.
Why is there the wooden wheel to a boat in our... Oh, Davy.
Ooh, it's brutal. All right, yeah, I think I'd have to put those kids. God, my
Yeah, we'll get
memory.
you
It's
next time.
hard to go back that far, but I did like the Baywatch girls. Not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Adrienne Barbeau back then too. FYI.
I never heard that one.
Yeah, give her a look. Back then, don't look at her.
Oh, yeah, no.
Don't look at her how she's aged, but
It never works
gotta
out.
go back.
It never
to
works
the
out.
se-
It never works out.
70s.
Too many drugs back then they took. It never works out now.
No, they got a little rough as they got older. All right, cool. What else you got there? B Clot.
That's all for
Hang
me.
on. I gotta ask you. I
right.
know you are listening to the podcast. Bunk, Bunk's 175-pound thing, his justification of getting it up by carrying bags of soil, I need your thoughts on this. Because my thoughts are that is not a great way to say that I will lift 175 pounds.
So his question is, can he bench 175?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm
he's
basing that
justifying
on-
One time. It's a max of
He's
175.
basing that on lifting 50-pound bags of mulch.
Yeah. In weightlifting, we call those sets of 50 pounds.
Then I did a lot of them, though. It's
Yeah, those
training.
are reps of sets.
And you
go.
also use your whole body to lift them.
Which is harder.
No,
actually.
no, it's not.
Nah, it'd be a lot harder
it's
than laying on a thing and lifting. I think.
I've been working out actually for the past month.
Okay.
I'm trying to get back into
Oh,
it.
you don't look like it.
Thanks. And so I've been starting at 135
oh,
bench.
snappy. Yeah.
And I've been doing 3 sets of 12. And I'm kind of not finishing towards the end, which is what you want.
Yeah.
That goes to show you how weak, number one, I am.
No, you're doing 3 sets of 12.
Where are you going with this?
That's
And
a
number
lot.
Be
two,
clapped.
I don't
Be
think you could lift the 135. No, you could do 135. But like if you put the 45s with a 25, what's that, 185?
Yes.
Right around what you're talking about? That shit's heavy.
Okay. All right. It's one time is all I got to do it, though.
Yeah, it's one time.
And I might be able to do it one
Did we
time.
ever talk about the 40? I haven't been on in a while.
It's been
I'll be honest
it's
with
been
you. That 40 is a lot
It's long.
friggin' longer
It's
than
a
I
long.
thought.
He's a
Do you go to
little
the
worried
football
about
field?
it.
Do you go to the football field?
Yeah, I saw 40.
Yeah, it's long.
she's a long one.
It's long.
And I don't run. I'm not a runner, so that's
And you got to
it,
figure it's going to take you about 2 seconds to get going.
holy shit.
To really get up to your speed.
Didn't my
Yeah, he said he was going to
Yeah.
break a 5'8".
I don't think I'm gonna break 5'8". It's a lot longer.
You better
than I thought.
pray we don't get 1,000 listeners in the summer.
It is a.
Oh my God! It'd be
I'll still,
104.
I will do it. I'm gonna still do it, but I got to be honest. I miscalculated.
The
40 yards.
8 seconds, I think, is actually a nice number, and I do think you can beat it, but I think it's going to be close. Last thing I said last time.
All right. I gotta work out.
My worry is a fall.
I could do
the
it.
fall forward because you get going.
As long as he does his
You get
warm-ups.
going.
Well, I heard that I don't think we have a nickname for him, but the Scoot would be coming out to Texas, or we'd be meeting somewhere and having
he's got
a
a
whole
nickname.
day of this.
He's got a nickname. Guy Omahado.
Guy Amahado is coming out. We're gonna have the whole event, and we'll
have
stack the Amados up.
Holy shit!
The bunklings up in
Oh
order.
my God!
Man, that would be good. 'Cause
I'm
you guys
making
are-
it
you
We
know
can
what?
get a leaderboard.
I'm
just
making
wanna
a
say this.
trophy.
We're just old enough for all of us to suck
I
ass.
was
I'm
gonna
making a
say
trophy.
that.
I'm making a trophy.
All right, I was gonna say you guys aren't the little younglings
No,
you used
no,
to be.
no.
no, that's the funny part.
Not at all.
I don't think I am at all.
I don't think
I-
that I'm going to be able to beat
And when was
a
okay?
5'8"
I gotta
on a
ask this
40.
question.
I
When
hurt
was the
myself
last
golfing.
time? When was the last time you ran?
running.
Yeah, run.
I ran
Sprint.
I've been running
Like,
daily.
run.
I've lost some weight.
You have,
Sprinting,
but
though. Sprinting.
run.
Sprinting.
Running.
I had to sprint after my child for like
No,
10 yards.
you
No,
haven't-
no,
okay.
no. Like
That
a
was rough.
sprint.
You haven't sprinted. Have you sprinted?
No, years.
Okay,
Not a
I know.
sprint.
I know the wet rooster hasn't been sprinting.
It's been when I did
Absolutely
Muay Thai
not.
2 years ago.
And although you guys did the my guy,
The Mui Tui.
Well, let me time out because I want to give you this for Guy Mahado when he comes and tries to talk shit to you. When he tried to sprint
Yeah.
for the first time in however many years, he tore something and he fell down on pavement and hurt
Yeah, he
himself.
did. Hey,
And he was out for weeks.
Shout out to Brandon from John's
Brandon,
Gym.
yeah, absolutely,
'cause I think
Brandon.
he is a listener as well. So
I hope so. I'll take a sidebar and say Brandon was one of the coolest motherfuckers I ever been around. This guy was awesome. In terms of like coaching sports and like being your best friend when you're working out and almost dying and throwing up. That guy was amazing. So, and I know he's a professional fighter now. So good luck to you, Brandon. I hope.
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, awesome.
But Greg, so shortly after that, I ran and I fell and I hurt myself too.
And
Same day.
We know Bevo ain't running.
Oh my
No,
God, are
Beeve
you kidding
Beeve
me?
ain't making it.
Beeve ain't
Are you
gonna,
kidding?
I think I could actually beat Beeve.
We've been playing-
You could.
Hey,
I could beat the Beeve.
We've been playing.
He has been
he's
working
not,
out, though.
He's not here to defend himself, but we've been playing disc golf. And
I can beat the fucking Beeve.
hey, the right arm doesn't work, so he's having to throw a disc left-handed, and man, it is hard to watch.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna.
I would not want to be the group behind us after they see Wes throw a disc.
I remember we got to the tee pad, the first tee box and there was two guys behind us, and Wes threw one, and Gary goes,
You guys can go.
Gary, let's
You
just
guys
let
play
them
ahead.
play through.
Holy snacky!
And they did.
All right, we got to get. If the big man comes out, we're gonna.
Oh, we
do
gotta do a shout out to Scoot. Any new Scoot stories? I heard the dumpster.
Skook?
Skook, yeah, not
Skookie,
Scooter.
not
Skookie. Skooky
Scoop.
Joe, he's got the punctals in.
Punctal
have been-
plugs.
They've been put in. We got the plugs have been enabled.
Was he a big fan of the radio shows?
He likes them.
Oh, I did. I actually thought you would
he
say no.
doesn't
Oh
like
yeah, I
them.
thought
Doesn't like him at all.
I thought he would hate them.
He don't freaking listen. I tried to talk to him about it. He doesn't remember.
Uncle Bob.
That
Uncle
shit.
Bob loves them though.
Uncle Bob. Like, yeah, he was my mentor
What was
on radio
Scoop doing
shows.
during all this radio
God, I
listening
don't
when you were
know.
a kid?
He was being a freaking ruffian
He was
down there.
bending
out in the
pennies with his
streets.
hands.
No, that was old school. No, your
thorns in
grandfather
his
was
feet at
out.
the
He was
beach.
out in the road doing shit. When,
Hey, he was honing his skills at Hasbrook Park. That's what he was
you know
doing.
what he was doing? He was waiting for the tar guy to come on the road, and then they'd roll the tar up and chew it. That's what he was
Oh
doing.
my god.
Yeah.
That's a true
He's got
story.
some
That's-
stories.
Yes, he has some
He's got
stories.
some, yeah, and we gotta get the old YMCA story from him.
Oh man.
Holy crap!
It's
We got-
2024. We
gotta-
don't tell those stories now.
We got to find a way to get him on our very last one because
That
we
is-
will be canceled
That
after
story
it.
is crazy. For what people did every day.
Oh my god!
That story's wild.
Yeah,
to
we're
me.
talking about back in the 40s, late 40s. If we could get him on, if we could get the wet rooster down there, maybe we can hook him in.
Yes, yeah. All right, we'll work on it.
Yeah, that would be good. Even if
Yeah.
whatever day it was, we could do it. That would be good.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's got some stories. Holy shit. He'd love it. All right.
Alrighty. Well, thank you all so much. This has been fantastic. Biclat, thanks for joining us
Hey, you're welcome.
today. If you guys are enjoying this, please go out there, give us a good rating on whatever platform you are listening this. And also, if you have any questions or anything like that, send them to bunkandpickpodcast@gmail.com. You can check us out on Instagram and on Facebook as well. And we can't wait to see you guys soon.
Yep.
Bunk.
See you next time. B-Clot, thanks for joining us. Got to have you on more. I like your stories. And we never leave without saying our tagline. We'll be rolling balls. All right. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.